Thank you very much. I need to start off by saying I am from California, which means I have the American limitation of only speaking English. So, with the help of the ladies in the back, if you have a headset, you can hear me as an Italian woman. So I would like to first explain that my role at Groupauto International is I am the Director of Workshop Networks and Technology. But my real role is to prepare for the future. So I would like to explain to you how we're doing that, and part of that is how we as the IAM, the independent aftermarket, could potentially partner with the vehicle manufacturers and the OES, the official service. So I'd like to start first by explaining who is Groupauto International. And what you must understand is that we, the aftermarket, cannot succeed individually. We must work together if we're going to prepare for the future ahead of us. And so Groupauto International is an international trading group. We have over 4,000 parts distributors around the world. Over 100 of them are here in Italy. So Groupauto Italia is representing Groupauto here in Italy, and they are a very strong part of our network. I'd like to share our strategy for 2024. We have a lot to do. So what I would like to start with, yes, we are a parts distributor, but we also operate 2 international workshop networks. And today I want to talk to you about how our workshop networks can potentially cooperate with OES, with the dealerships. So first, again, we have 2 workshop networks. My Eurogarage network has over 7,400 workshops. Here in Italy, over 1,300 of those workshops are part of the Punto Pro network here in Italy. We also operate a commercial vehicle network of over 900 workshops, again, with almost 200 of those here in Italy. So we have a very strong presence here in Italy. But we also need to look at what will be needed going forward. So let me explain a few things from our perspective. Why do customers currently choose the aftermarket when it comes to the repair and maintenance of their vehicle? Well, I would say it's for 3 reasons. 1, is proximity. The dealership is 20 kilometers away, but we have a workshop 2 kilometers away. Another is availability. The dealership can't see you for a week, but we can see you tomorrow. And of course, price. We are less expensive than going to the dealership. I honestly wish these were different reasons why people came to us. We take good care of you, we support you very well, but it starts with proximity, availability, and price. But there is another unspoken truth that the aftermarket relies on for our business. And that is simply, we have always counted on the fact that every vehicle will eventually transition to the IAM, to the independent aftermarket, for service and repair. Things are changing. We can no longer rely on this. There are 3, and actually 4, large megatrends that we must understand as the independent aftermarket. The first one is centrally managed fleets. These are vehicles where the driver is not responsible for the repair and maintenance of the vehicle. It's a lease vehicle, it's a rental vehicle, it's a shared vehicle. Someone other than the driver is making the decision for all of those vehicles. We have customers we work with that have over 100,000 vehicles that we maintain. So we as the aftermarket have to be ready to deal with customers on that kind of scale. Another big megatrend is connected vehicles. And you have to understand, this change in technology is different than anything else we have experienced. We have always had to learn about the new sensor, learn about the new procedure, buy a new piece of equipment to take care of the new cars. This is different. This means for the first time, the vehicle manufacturer can be in contact with the owner of that car. The car can literally say, I'm due for service, I checked with the dealership, they can take you on Thursday, click here to book an appointment. This is going to change our ability to interact with our customer and change how we need to compete. EV and sustainability. These are very strong megatrends you've heard about, but it makes my list for maybe a different reason than you might expect. Yes, I'm all for preserving the planet and reducing our CO2, but I need to look at this from a business perspective. And the reason why EV and sustainability are important to me is because right now, those very large fleet customers we deal with are asking us, how many of your workshops can service EV and hybrid? They don't have many of those vehicles for us, but their customers are asking them if they're ready for that transition. And so if we're going to continue to support them, we have to be ready. But every day, we have customers come to my workshops because it says we service EV and hybrid. They don't have an EV or hybrid vehicle, but they assume since we have that sign up, we're clever enough to work on that kind of car, we can take care of their traditional internal combustion car. So we need to recognize it. But the other thing that's important is that we are seeing the vehicle manufacturers take one of 2 different paths. They are either getting very protective and proprietary about access to their vehicles. And I don't just mean access to the data, I mean physical access to the vehicle, where you're not allowed to interact with it. But then we're also seeing other vehicle manufacturers who are seeing things differently. They see the potential of partnering with us. as the aftermarket to take care of their vehicles. Some of them have even gone so far as to state that they no longer want to maintain the vehicles after a certain amount of time. So there is an interesting opportunity there. But it's very different between vehicle manufacturers, and it's not that difficult to understand which ones are on this side and which ones are on that side. But we have to adapt to these changes. We cannot continue to live in the past. Here's how I tell my workshops about this. We must not become the television repairman. Okay, I'm an old guy. I've been around for a while. When I was a kid, the television repairman came to our house and took the back off of the television and fixed things. There's no more television repairman. Now, I'm not saying vehicles are going to go, to the point where we just throw them away when they don't work. But they're getting very modular and component-based, very technical, so it's requiring a different skill set, and we must adapt to that skill set. But just like we must not become the television repairman, we also must not become the travel agent. I travel all the time. I book hotels and airline flights all the time. I don't work with a travel agent. I have an app on my phone that takes care of everything. So we also have to adapt and be ready to communicate with our customers in the way they expect us to. So this is why we have to make these changes and adapt to new business rules, new technology, and new ways of interacting with our customers. If we don't, we die. So, here's something we need to understand about the possibility of working with the OES. The vehicle manufacturers will have no interest in partnering with the independent aftermarket unless two things happen. We must be seen as competitors. If they don't view us as competitors, they will have no interest in working with us, which means we have to be ready to do business in the way that allows them to see us as competitors. But we also have to bring value to them in working with us. So, I'm not here to tell you how you need to adapt. I'm here to tell you how we have done it and are doing this as an example. So, in my workshop networks, my Euro Garage network and the Top Truck network, this is what we're doing to prepare for the future and adapt. The first thing is we must standardize. We must have a minimum requirement and a minimum level of service at all of our different workshops. I have over 7,000 workshops in my network. These are networks of independently owned businesses. Getting them to try and do anything in a standard way is a challenge, but we must. The second thing we must do is we must integrate. We must use technology to link together, to work together. Now at Groupauto, we have what we call GNM. That's our network data. So a customer can go in and find us. I can tell you, very recent news, Google just contacted me. They have asked for us to work with them to provide information about our networks so that any customer doing a Google search for a repair garage can get a quotation and book an appointment via the Google search. These are the things we must do to prepare for the future. R&M, Repair and Maintenance, is our fleet services platform, and I'm not here to go into technical discussions about these, but we have to be ready to work with those big central fleets. And then finally, my ultimate goal. I have what I like to call my long-term, multi-step evil plan, okay, for how we capture business. And the ultimate step of that plan is our own DMS, the software that the workshop uses to run their business. And so a future step is for us to put the same software into all of our independent workshops, because at that time, the fleets will be able to book into our calendar and check availability. The customer will be able to get customized quotes just for their vehicle. They'll be able to communicate with us via the app in real time. So these are things we have to prepare for. And then finally is collaboration. All of my national networks and all of those independently owned businesses must work together. Otherwise, we can't provide a competing service to the dealerships. So there's three things that we have to remember, and we have to remind the vehicle manufacturers and the authorized service about. These are three very important facts. The first one is we, as the aftermarket, service more of their vehicles than the dealerships do. So we are actually the experts. We're the ones that know more about the lifespan and functionality of their vehicles. That's value that we bring. We know how a 5-year, 7-year, 10-year-old vehicle, how it functions, what breaks, how long did it last, what did it need to be replaced with. We, the aftermarket, know these things. The vehicle manufacturers do not. And most importantly, we know who the second, third, and fourth owner of those vehicles are. The vehicle manufacturers desperately want to know who is driving their vehicle now. They want to know because they want to be able to sell them a new vehicle. They want to be able to sell them accessories. This is their best potential customer. And we have that information. So what I'm saying is we have value that we can bring to the vehicle manufacturers and OES so that they would partner with us. And it's really these three things. We already have the customers. We know more about the vehicles, especially their long-term life, and we know who the customers are, and we can communicate with them. So I'd like to show you a true example of a discussion that we are having with a major vehicle manufacturer and how this kind of agreement and cooperation could work. This is not finalized. We're talking about it. But it's important that we are talking. They're interested. So, first of all, this particular vehicle manufacturer wants the owner of the vehicle to have the choice of aftermarket parts or the OE parts if they prefer that. Okay? So right now when they come to the aftermarket, we give them aftermarket parts options. To partner with us, the VM simply wants us to allow the vehicle owner to choose OE parts if they want. Interesting. They're also offering their technical information, their specialty tools, their training, access to their vehicle data. Because if they're going to refer the customer to us, they want to make sure we can properly take care of them. So they are willing to provide this to my workshop network, the aftermarket, in a potential cooperation. Well, what do we want? I want the vehicle manufacturer's endorsement. I want the vehicle manufacturer to publicly say, if you do not have your vehicle serviced at the dealership, you should take it to the Euro Garage network. Publicly state that. I want their branding on my building. And what I'm offering is contact information for the current drivers of their brand of vehicles that are serviced at our workshop, so that if they want to offer them accessories, tell them about the new model of vehicle, they can communicate with that driver. Of course, I get the driver's permission to do that. But I also can make available to them service statistics about their older vehicles. How long are they lasting? What's breaking? What did it get replaced with? And so far, this is a very interesting proposition to the vehicle manufacturer. So ultimately, why must the independent aftermarket partner with the vehicle manufacturers? There's an old joke that says, why do bank robbers rob banks? Well, the answer is, that's where the money is. Okay? Old joke. But if we look at it here, why must the independent aftermarket partner with the VMs? Well, because they are more and more controlling access to the vehicle. Physical access, digital access, and we have to work with them for that, but also simply because that's where the money is. So we have to look at this as an opportunity to work together, an opportunity to establish ourselves as a true, valuable partner with the vehicle manufacturers. And if we can do that, then there is a very interesting future opportunity for the independent aftermarket. So with that, here in Italy, we are well looked after by Groupauto Italy. If you have any questions or you'd like to know more, please go ahead and contact them. If you need anything outside of Italy, my contact information is there, and I thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you.